Week 7's almost a wrap, and we're going to go game by game, matchup by matchup, and look at your favorite fantasy players and see how they produced in the box scores. We're going to go over the buy, sells, holds, and trades right now. But before we do, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing deep dives every single day. We're recapping the games. We're previewing the games. We're looking at the waiver wire every single day. We're helping you set your lineups with these videos. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. Don't disappoint him. But we're going to start things off. Patriots, Jaguars in London, 32-16 Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence not too hot. Drake May looking good as a rookie. Tank Bigsby getting it done though. 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looking solid. Looking better than Travis Etienne. Dearness Johnson got a little bit of work in both the run game and passing game. Not enough to get the job done, but you're okay if it's like 16 teams or plus in your league and you're really hurting, like you're bottom dwelling in your league and you're like, okay, I got some work. Brian Thomas Jr., stud wide receiver. Good rookie wide receiver, getting it done. 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Evan Ingram got a little bit of volume there. 8 fantasy points, though. Not enough to get you over the hump, but probably enough to make him a tight end 1 for the week. Hunter Henry on the other side, though. Got it done. 8 catches, 92 yards. Going to be a hot waiver wire claim at the tight end spot. Jermichael Hasty, after Antonio Gibson got hurt, got 5 catches, 49 yards, getting that workload. Ramondre Stevenson got some work, but it didn't amount to anything. Drake May showed a little bit of that Konami code. And then you're looking at the wide receivers here for the Patriots. Drake May's a good quarterback, and you can definitely tell that because the ball's getting spread out here. And Kayshon Boutte, 1 catch, 33 yards. He looked good last week with that touchdown. Kendrick Bourne getting some work. Austin Hooper getting some work. KJ Osborne getting some work. Demario Douglas getting a little bit of work. It's spreading around here. And Jalen Polk, everybody's saying he's dead. Not looking good. He's droppable. He was a stash play as a rookie. Could be later on down the road. But right now, redraft-wise, you got to cut ties and move on to something else. Get you a stash running back or something for the back end of your bench. Looking deeper here for the Jaguars, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis. They're getting trumped out by Brian Thomas Jr. He is that dog on the team. And Tank Bigsby is the dog on the team. And Trevor Lawrence needs to step it up. He's not looking like that first-round pick that everybody thought he was going to be. He's not looking like that Clemson quarterback or that quarterback coming out of high school. Drake May looking good, though. Seahawks versus Falcons. Seahawks won 34-14. And the big thing about this, DK Metcalf gets hurt. Scores fantasy points for you, though, on the way out. However, Kenneth Walker getting it done in a run game and passing game. Catching 2 balls for 24 yards and a touchdown while also running it for 69 and a touchdown as well. Zach Charbonnet got a little bit of work. Noah Fant got enough to get you tight end 1 production this week. After that, the targets are spread around in the passing game for the Seattle Seahawks. Jack Smith-Njigba, 6 targets, but 3 catches for 9 yards. That doesn't help. Tyler Lockett, just 9.5 fantasy points. That doesn't really help. And you're looking at the passing game here. Jack Smith-Njigba threw for 35 yards. He might have got you a point there depending on how your league scores on passing. But Kirk Cousins, 232 passing yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Bijan Robinson, over the century mark, got you a touchdown. Tyler Algier got a little bit of work, but he's a top-tier handcuff to look at here because something happens to Bijan, you know he's going to be getting work in the run game. Kyle Pitts, 7 catches, 65 yards, one of the top tight ends of the week. Drake London catching 6 balls, 63 yards, and a touchdown. That's looking good. Darnell Mooney getting some work as well. We got the carousel effect with the top 3 pass catchers with those 3 guys, Mooney, London, and Pitts. That being said, Ray McLeod didn't hit. He was getting a lot of targets earlier in the season. The last 2 games has not been looking good. However, the big thing here to know is DK Metcalf getting hurt. We're watching targets going forward, and we're watching DK Metcalf and how long he's going to be out. Bills, Titans, and whenever the Titans are in, it's an ugly matchup. Josh Allen, one of the few quarterbacks, the only quarterback right now to have over 300 yards passing on the day, 2 touchdowns thrown. Right now, one of the top quarterbacks in fantasy, and it's sad that we're going week by week hoping for 300-yard passers, but it's looking like that this year. Ray Davis, 41 yards and a touchdown. James Cook, 32 yards and a touchdown. At least they crossed the goal line for you. Keon Coleman surprised you. He had that catch and run, but Amari Cooper getting a touchdown, getting some work in the passing game. he is ramping up, and he's going to be the mainstay in the offense. He's going to be great down the line. He's going to be a great addition for the Buffalo Bills, and he's going to be soaking up targets. Khalil Shakir got 7 targets, 7 catches, 65 yards. The passing game was hot for the Bills here. Dalton Kincaid got a little bit of work. 8.2 PPR fantasy points. You don't love it, but it's a top tight end week in some weeks, so you're going to have to take that and do what you want with it. Chid got some points here, 9 fantasy points. It's okay. Of course, it's the Titans passing game. You're not really going to get much out of that. Calvin Ridley, 9 targets, but nothing really to show for it. And Tony Pollard's the mainstay here in the offense, but we did not cross the goal line. 61 yards, and we only caught 2 balls for 4 yards. Mason Rudolph, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The sad thing is, he's up there when it comes to production for quarterbacks. Bengals, Browns, and this is tighter than what it should be. Deshaun Watson ruptured his Achilles. He's out for the year. You definitely know that. Jameis Winston came in the back 9 of the game. DTR came in, and he was running the ball quite a bit. 3 carries, 44 yards. He has the Konami code. Nick Chubb was the story of the game, getting that touchdown. They were around the goal line, and they were just feeding him. It was like 3 runs in a row. His yards per carry is low, but remember what I just said. He had those 3 carries around the goal line. He got the touchdown. We love to see it. And I told you, we'd be happy if he had 3 carries for like 12 yards in the You Need video. Watch Nick Chubb going forward. Watch this offense. Jameis Winston back there at quarterbacks. Big for Nick Chubb. Big for these running backs. Big for everybody. Cedric Tillman got 12 targets in this matchup. David Njoku got 14. There's volume in this offense now. The ball's going to be more vertical downfield. They're going to air it out more with Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's more of a YOLO quarterback who does not care and will thread the needle downfield. He's very aggressive, and that's what this team needs. They need to put some juice in the offense. We're looking at the Bengals side here. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, scoring touchdowns, getting you some yards. And Chase Brown's got the pop in the step. 44 yards, 2.9 yards per carry. Zach Moss, 3 balls caught, 33 yards. Chase Brown caught 2 balls as well. Really not getting much out of these running backs. Joe Burrow only had 181 yards passing in this game. Bengals win 21-14. Texans and Packers. This one was a fun one. You saw a lot of this on the red zone. They were really trying to highlight this game. Jordan Love, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Josh Jacobs, 76 rushing yards. Manny Wilson got 11 rushing yards in this matchup. Romeo Doubs, 10 targets, 8 catches, 94 yards. He's getting that work. Back-to-back games where he hit. He had a low point in the season, but he's running a lot of routes. He's getting a lot of opportunities. Wicks got that touchdown. He brought those balls in. Tucker Kraft got a touchdown. Josh Jacobs got a touchdown in the receiving game. Jaden Reed got 4 targets, but only 10 yards. Christian Watson was a slow game. Bo Melton didn't hit. That being said, like I always say, Packers have a carousel effect at the wide receiver position. Any wide receiver can get it. It was Doubs and Wicks this week. Slow weeks for Reed, Watson, and Melton. Looking at the Texans here, Dalton Schultz, 2 targets, but 1 catch for 28 yards. Diggs, 5 catches, 23 yards, 7 fantasy points on 5 catches. That's ugly. But looking at what Stroud did, we have 86 yards passing. Joe Mixon, 115 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He has been hot as of late, looking good, and Mixon is rolling. Colts versus Dolphins. We knew this was going to be ugly. We knew this was going to be a Bubba Sparks game, but Anthony Richardson just makes you hate the rest of the team because he's that bad. He cannot distribute the football that well because Michael Pittman, 3 catches, 63 yards. A.D. Mitchell, 2 for 30. Alec Pierce, 2 for 15. Josh Downs, 1 for 3. Trey Sermon got a little bit of work, but nothing good for fantasy. Tyler Goodson crossed the goal line. A lot of people are going to be looking at him off the waiver wire. Jonathan Taylor should be back soon. I hope he's back soon so we can have something to look at for the Colts. Looking at the Dolphins here, Huntley got hurt. Tim Boyle came in. It's just ugly. Devin Achane got you 77 yards rushing. At least you got something to look at there. 50 yards rushing off of Mostert. So 5 fantasy points off of that. Devin Achane also caught you 2 balls for 8 yards. So it is what it is. Jonnu Smith got the touchdown. People are going to look at him off the waiver wire. Remember, he's a Dolphins tight end. Dolphins targets are like worthless almost in this passing offense, so good luck with that. Jayden Waddle sucked it up. Tyreek Hill sucked it up. A lot of people are complaining about the Dolphins, and it's rough. It's rough. These are two rough teams that you do not want wide receivers from. Lions and Vikings, 31-29 Lions. And we told you, you're just starting everybody from this matchup. It's going to be a high-scoring game, and you're going to let the chips fall where they may. Jared Goff, 280 yards passing. Sam Darnold, 259. And for this weird season, that's a lot of passing yards. Any other year, it's just okay. Jahmyr Gibbs went off 116 yards. David Montgomery had a scare with an injury, but came back in. At least he came back. Amon-Ra, 112 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 4 catches, 44 yards. Big day for him. Khalif Raymond, 4 targets, getting some volume. J-Mo busted. J-Mo busted huge. Sam Laporta, he busted as well. Sure did. Justin Jefferson, good again. Jalen Naylor getting those targets. 4 catches, 76 yards. Jordan Addison got you 9.6 PBR fantasy points. Looking all right. Aaron Jones coming back from injury. Looking good. 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Ty Chandler, basically no work. Aaron Jones, good to rocket. Looking good on the field. This was a fun game to watch. One of the best ones on the red zone. Eagles, Giants. This one was ugly, but Saquon Barkley was going off in his revenge game. Back at the Giants. Back in his old home. He was looking good like always. He had a few runs where he was twisting guys up like a pretzel. A.J. Brown got a touchdown. 89 yards off 5 balls caught. A.J. Brown's a stud. He's always going to be a stud until he's out of the league. That's how it's going to be. Kenneth Walker got a little bit of work in the pass game. Saquon did as well. But this game was over before it started, so he did not need much in the passing game from these Eagles wide receivers. Malik Neighbors, 4 balls caught for 41 yards. In the press conference, he said he was open the whole time. I 100% believe him. Wan'Dale Robinson, 6 balls caught for 23 yards. 6 balls caught for 8 fantasy points. That is ugly, but you at least got 9 targets to look at for your fantasy team. Tyrone Tracy, Devin Singletary, we were wondering what the workload was going to look like. It may not even matter at this point. This team sucks so bad. Daniel Jones is bad. Did not hit the 100-yard mark. Drew Lock came in, completed 3 balls for just 6 yards. Just ugly, almost laughable at this point. Rams-Raiders for like the 4 p.m. game was another ugly one. The Rams were up most of the time, and we saw Kyren Williams get 21 carries. Like we said in the What the Fuck video with him, he's getting too much work. He's getting a lot of opportunities. They really need to share the wealth here so he can last the back 9 of the season here, so he can be fresh, especially once you get Puka and Cooper back. That being said, 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. His production is buoyed by touchdowns. He's getting a lot of touchdowns. However, 3.6 yards per carry. Blake Corum, 3 carries, 11 yards. Tyler Johnson, 4 balls caught, 57 yards. Tutu Atwell, 6 balls caught, 51 yards. Not really great receiving-wise. Only 154 passing yards in this game by both quarterbacks. Gardner Minshew had to step in for A.N. O'Connell. He threw a pass and just hit it on somebody's hand while he was throwing it and got it hurt. Alexander Madison, 92 rushing yards, 4 yards per carry. That being said, he also caught 3 balls for 31 yards. So it was ho-hum fancy production, but it got you by. Zamir White, not getting it done again. And we're looking at Trey Tucker with 8 targets. At least he got targets. We said he was going to get 5+ a game in his unique video a few weeks ago. We're holding true to that. We got 8 here, but 9.6 fantasy points. Technically about 10 there, and when you include the rushing yards, it's okay. It's getting the job done. Brock Bowers is one of the best rookie tight ends to ever lay foot in the NFL. He's a stud and will be a stud his whole career. Panthers versus Commanders, and we lost Jaden Daniels. We do not know how long he's going to be out. Marcus Mariota might be a pickup for you. After all, he was able to throw for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns in this matchup. Brian Robinson, good between the tackles. Steady Eddie, 71 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Daniels rushed for 50, but he's going to be hurt. Who knows how long he's going to be out. McNichols got some run. Eckler got a little bit of run, but not enough for fantasy production. Terry McLaurin, 6 catches, 98 yards. Good enough for you in fantasy. That's looking good. Zach Ertz got the touchdown. After that, it's just scraps for the wide receivers. Jatavian Sanders, the Texas tight end, the rookie, 6 balls caught, 61 yards, getting that volume. After that, it's sucking in the passing game for the Carolina Panthers. It was a rough outing for them. 52 rushing yards for Chuba Hubbard, 1 touchdown. That touchdown saved you for his fantasy production. Miles Sanders, 3 carries, 34 yards. And we're looking at Andy Dalton still being the quarterback here. Bryce Young, 2 pass attempts for -4 yards. The Commanders routed the Panthers. The game script really killed it for their fantasy production. They couldn't get it done in the air. They only had 85 yards passing. Not looking good for the Panthers. Chiefs versus Niners. Chiefs win 28-18. The big story here is Brandon Ayuk possibly shredding his ACL. 6 targets in this matchup, catching 2 balls for 23 yards for him. Not looking good. And we're looking at Ricky Pearsall and Jacob Cowing as the wide receivers to get off the waiver wire. Check my waiver wire video on Tuesday on that, because I'm going to look at the advanced analytics on both those wide receivers, snap shares, route participation rates, and everything else. I'll talk about both of them. Both of them. Good rookie prospect profiles. Jacob Cowing, a later round pick, but broke out with 2 different collegiate programs, G5 level and Power 5 level, or Power 4 you would call it these days. Ricky Pearsall, very sudden route runner, very aggressive, just came back from injury. I like him as a prospect. I like him for the NFL. For fantasy, he's got to get volume. This might be a good situation for that. George Kittle, 6 balls caught, 92 yards, getting that volume in. After him and Cowing, you're not really excited about the pass catchers. Jordan Mason rumbled a little bit, 58 rushing yards, but not enough to get it done. Brock Purdy rushing for 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy, 212 passing yards. Patty Mahomes, 154 passing yards, 2 picks. Kareem Hunt, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3.5 yards per carry. You're not really loving that, but it is against the Niners, so it is what it is. You kind of expect that. Noah Gray, 4 catches, 66 yards, and after that, it's ugly in the passing game for the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to fantasy production. But the big story here is Brandon Ayuk and the after effects of what's going to happen with this passing attack for the 49ers. Also want to point out, Deebo Samuel played 3 snaps. He went out. So there's another aspect here for the passing attack. We got to pay attention here for the 49ers when it comes to these young wide receivers and what's going to happen with Brock Purdy and these pass catchers going forward. Those are the recaps from Sunday's games. We still got the Sunday night game. We still got 2 Monday night games, so we got plenty of football to look at. We're going to talk about the waiver wire. We're going to look at the starts for Monday's games, the 2 games that we have played tomorrow. We're going to look at the must-starts for that, the guys, the bench, and everything else. Hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.